Good morning everyone, we are back on the EDSA busway. You can see lots of buses passing by, oh my goodness. MC taxi. It's only been 24 hours since a passenger died inside the EDSA busway because his alleged illegal motorcycle taxi driver took him inside the busway, and unfortunately now he's dead. And this one, well, it appears to be legal. I've always been a supporter of legalizing and regulating MC taxis instead of letting the illegal motorcycle taxis proliferate. But I have to admit the standards have dropped such a long way compared to when they first launched. And it's disappointing because it seems like LTFRB doesn't have much control, so it's really down to the operators to get a grip on their riders. Like I said, I'm a big fan of legalizing and regulating MC taxis. It's a stable and really honest, good livelihood for the rider. And it's safer for commuters compared to riding an illegal motorcycle taxi. Well, I don't know. It's getting worse, right? In the bus lane, riding on the sidewalk, counterflowing. I had 2 MC taxis honking at me the other day while I was walking along the sidewalk, making me get out of their way. Anyway, he's handed over his license and he'll be ticketed. The Hubble rider, or alleged Hubble rider yesterday, is currently behind bars because of that incident. His passenger is now dead. And a lot of people have been asking, why is the bus driver also behind bars? According to the passenger, he did book this motorcycle taxi through the application. That bus is honking at the rider. It is dangerous. He was going in and out of the bus lane from the very top. I just wasn't able to start the camera in time. The amount of times riders have been knocked down, but they still take the chance. They don't have the same protection of a car. I mean, even in a car, you don't have good odds versus a bus, but on a motorcycle, forget about it. According to the enforcer, that one is also unregistered, and I think it's going to be impounded. In a previous video, a lot of people commented, why would you go inside the bus lane if you don't have a valid registration? I mean, look, every other rider, every other driver is in the correct lane, either on the flyover or over there on the service lanes. So there are multiple lanes for cars and motorcycles, while the buses only have one lane. But they can actually move hundreds of thousands of commuters in a day just by having one lane. That's the efficiency of buses, right? A rider left the bus lane, but he's forgot to turn off his indicator light. There's no proper plate on the back either. Obviously you can't do anything with those numbers. According to the enforcer, it's unregistered. So in the past, unregistered vehicles have been impounded. I assume that would be the same situation here. There's another vehicle in the background that's trying to leave the bus lane. What is that? Is that a tow truck? Here's the thing, right? He's gonna obstruct the bus lane, block the buses from getting forward. He's still gonna be pulled over and ticketed when he gets to the front. So what's the point? You might as well have just driven forward and taken the ticket immediately. You'll see the enforcer is already writing out the ticket. Okay, he's finally seen the enforcers. There you go, they managed to push him off to the side. Honestly, nowadays it's hard to know if it's a legit motorcycle taxi or not, because sometimes the Hubble are wearing uniforms to make themselves look legit, and sometimes the legit ones are not wearing uniforms at all. So, according to the female passenger, she booked it through the application. So I guess, based on what she said, he's a legitimate MC taxi driver, but just not wearing the uniform. That's what I mentioned earlier, right? The standards have slipped a very long way. And, well, honestly, I don't think LTFRB has control anymore. It's really the operators. They're the only ones that have control. That's why it's very important for passengers to give feedback on their drivers, so the operators know who's good and who might not be so good. What amazes me is that there are still people who would say, put a sign. That's what they comment. Why don't they put a sign? As if there's not already overhead signs As if there's not already road level signs, as if there's not already lane markings, as if most of the bus lane isn't already protected by barriers. It's only on the flyovers and tunnels that they had to be removed for safety reasons. 99% of the time, it's not that people don't know it's an exclusive bus lane. Listen to the drivers, listen to the riders. They would openly admit, yes, I know it's prohibited, but I'm in a rush, I'm in a hurry, I'm late for a meeting, I'm late for work. Why would you do that? Look at how close the bus is, my goodness. That's one of the reasons why the buses are often forced to slow right down or to come to a complete stop, because of riders that dip in and out of the bus lane. The irony is, if you said motorcycle riders are forced to drive beside the bus lane, the same people that misuse the bus lane right now would be the first to comment, oh, the government's so stupid, they don't care about our safety, they're forcing us to drive next to the buses, which is so dangerous. But when it's prohibited, they'll do it and then insist that it's safe and that they're being careful. That's the irony, right? That's why you cannot please everyone, because no matter what, they will have some kind of reasoning in their head for why what they're doing is okay, and then what the enforcers or what the government is doing is bad. There's another two riders coming now. This one's more brave compared to the other one. The rider already handed over his ORCR driver's license and they're writing out the ticket now. There's actually another motorcycle being ticketed a little further along. It does look like an MC taxi, but just like I mentioned earlier, you never really know whether it's a legitimate MC taxi or habal or something else, right? Unless you ask. According to the passenger, it is a legitimate booking through the app, and he said he didn't tell the driver to go through the bus lane. I mean, whether you're a legal MC taxi or illegal MC taxi, the risk is the same if you take your passenger inside the busway. Rider was pretty quick to leave the bus lane, but not quite quick enough. That's the reality. A lot of people think that they'll be able to leave the bus lane without being seen, and that's why they're willing to take the chance, even if the penalty and the risk is quite high. And actually a lot of people do manage to leave without getting noticed, and obviously they can't use the CCTV for enforcement anymore because of the TRO from the Supreme Court. And I've seen comments where people say, oh, why don't you stand at the top and wave people out the bus lane? I've seen various different enforcement agencies try to wave people out of the bus lane before, and the result was always the same. As soon as the driver or rider got past the enforcer, they went back into the bus lane. Why? Because there was no ticket, there was no deterrent. All they learned is that when you see an enforcer, you leave the bus lane. When you don't see an enforcer, you can use the bus lane. That's why they issued the tickets to act as a deterrent. Some kind of vehicle in the background there. I was a bit late to start the camera. I think I saw the hazard lights were on before he left the bus lane. Look, he's trying to merge with the regular vehicles. I even heard the enforcer shouting out, Salakwag. The enforcers will move in to apprehend him. It's not like a motorcycle where you can just hide between other riders. Your car is so easy to notice. Oh, he still has his hazard lights on, and he has a plate, again, protocol plate. And my understanding is that but actually now they're having to wait because there's so many people being ticketed that they're in a queue. Anyway, the enforcer just handed over the ticket and the ORCR. The driver's just signing the ticket. There you go. They will confiscate the license.